It's preparing. Preparing to like. So who wants to pick up first?
I can. Yeah. Okay.
ठीक है. Let's do one by one like how we do always. It's saying setting up, done, directing. It's preparing. Preparing to like. So who wants to pick up first?
I can.
Sure. Let's start. Let's do one by one like how we do always. It's saying setting up, done, directing. It's preparing. Preparing to like. So who wants to pick up first? Chalo, let's start. Sure. Let's start. Let's do one by one like how we do always. It's saying setting up, done, directing. Chalo. Sorry for the glitch. Okay. Chal Rashmi.
As much as Mrs. her kids, as she called those who served under her command, General Robinson is still looking for ways she can clear a path for others so that they can push themselves and the organization further. The time to think of yourself is done. It is not about you. It is about the lieutenants behind you. She'd remind her students when she was an instructor at the fighter weapons school. If enough of us do this, she goes on, referring to why she does what she does, then we leave this military and this country in better shape than we found it. And isn't that the point? And it is that sense of purpose, a clear idea of why she comes to work, that she has been the cornerstone of General Robinson's success. And that, incidentally, has been remarkable. Working hard to clear a path for others so that they can confidently go on to do bigger and better things has in turn inspired others to clear a path for General Robinson to do exactly the same thing. As a woman in the very masculine world of the military, she sets an example for how to lead. Great leadership, it's not about flexing and intimidation. Great leaders, as General Robinson proves, lead with why. They embody a sense of purpose that inspires those around them. General Robinson was so trusted as the weapons controller that it was not unusual for pilots in training to request that she be assigned to them. The greatest compliment I ever got was when people would say, "When I go to war, I want Laurie on the radio," she says. She is the first woman in the history of Air Force to command the 552nd Air Control Wing out of Tinker Air Force Base, one of the largest wings in Air Combat Command. The wing that flies the AWACS airborne control aircraft, the fleet of Boeing 707s with huge rotating radar dishes on top. She's the first commander of a combat wing ever who didn't come up through the pilot ranks. She was the first female weapons school instructor to teach at the Air Force Fighter Weapons School, where the Air Force trains all its top guns. There, she became the most celebrated teacher in the ranks, winning Best Teacher 7 classes in a row. She is the first female director of the Secretary of the Air Force and Chief of Staff of the Air Force Executive Action Group. In 2000, the chairman of Joint
You went on mute, Rashmi. Unmute yourself. Something happened. Unmute yourself. Rashmi, you need to unmute yourself. Can you hear me? Yes, yes, yes. You were on mute.
Acha, is it okay? I got a call, so I disconnected it, but I don't know what
But
happened.
it didn't get disconnected. It was on mute. It went on mute. Anyways, we have to go a little behind. थोड़ा 2-3 लाइनें पीछे से शुरू करो.
By any measure वाला para या उसके पहले? In
Yes, that
2000.
works. That works. By any measure.
Okay. By any measure, General Laurie Robinson is a remarkable leader. Some in management positions operate as if they are in a tree of monkeys. They make sure that everyone at the top of the tree looking down sees only smiles. But all too often, those at the bottom looking up see only axes. Great leaders like General Robinson are respected by those above and below. Those in her command trust her implicitly because they know she's committed to looking after them. There's nothing you can do that I can't fix, she was often heard telling students at fighter weapons school. And those to whom she reports knows how remarkable difference to her. I don't know how she gets away with half the stuff she does, say those who know her. More importantly, it is said with a grin and with respect. General Robinson's ability to lead developed not because she's the smartest or the nicest. She's a great leader because she understands that earning the trust of an organization doesn't come from setting out to impress everyone. It comes from setting out to serve those who serve her. It is the invisible trust that gives a leader the following they need to get things done. And in Laurie Robinson's case, things get done. Shall I continue?
Any discussions? Love the way this trust thing is explained.
True.
Yeah.
So basically,
Okay.
what leadership doesn't need for us to, impress anybody. So basically, just doing your work well and, earning the trust of people is what makes you a leader.
Yes. And you don't lead alone. It's dependent on other team members. If you have good team members, loyal team members, you automatically flourish in your work and things get done easily. Sharil, let's go ahead. Let me know when you want me to take up Rashmi. Huh?
Yeah, okay. I use the military because it exaggerates the point. Trust matters. Trust comes from being a part of a culture or organization with a common set of values and beliefs. Trust is maintained when the values and beliefs are actively managed. If companies do not actively work to keep their golden circle in balance, clarity, discipline, and consistency, then trust starts to break down. A company, indeed any organization, must work actively to remind everyone why the company exists, why it was found on the first place, what it believes. They need to hold everyone in the company accountable to the values and guiding principles. It's not enough to just write them on the wall. That's passive. Bonuses and incentives must revolve around them. The company must serve those whom they wish to serve it. With balance, those who are good fits can trust that everyone is on board for the same reasons. It's also the only way that each individual in the system can trust that others are acting too. Leave the organization in a better way than we found it. To quote General Robinson again, this is the root of passion. Passion comes from feeling like you are a part of something that you believe in, something bigger than yourself. If people do not trust that a company is organized to advance the why, then the passion is diluted. Without managed trust, people will show up to do their jobs and they will worry primarily about themselves. This is the root of office politics. People acting within the system for self-gain, often at the expense of others, even the company. If a company doesn't manage trust, then those working for it will not trust the company. And self-interest becomes the overwhelming motivation. This may be good for the short term, but over time, the organization will get weaker and weaker. I'll continue.
Yeah, anything to discuss? I love this last line. This may be good for a short term, but over time, the organization will get weaker and weaker. And that does happen. That happens for the organization, that happens for countries, for government, you know.
Yeah.
So the last line I will repeat again. If a company doesn't manage trust, then those working for it will not trust the company. And the self-interest becomes the overwhelming motivation. This may be good for short term, but over the time, the organization will get weaker and weaker. Beautiful.
Yeah. And even like the other, like a little earlier, they've said that if the company wants to prosper, like then they should look after the employers, not only employees. Like, they should kind of, as you said, give them incentives and things like that. If that doesn't happen, then, like in the long run, the employees also, don't feel that they belong there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Chaliye, I'll take up. Rashmi? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Herb Kelleher, the visionary behind Southwest Airlines, understood his better than most. He recognized that to get the best out of his employees, he needed to create an environment in which they felt like the company cared about them. He knew that they would naturally excel if they felt the work they did made a difference. When a journalist asked Kelleher what comes first to him, his shareholders or his employees, his response was heresy at the time, and to a large degree still is. Well, that's easy, he said. Employees come first, and if employees are treated right, they treat the outside world right. The outside world uses the company's product again, and that makes the shareholders happy. That really is the way that it works, and it's not a conundrum at all. Beautiful. Remember, we read yesterday also that employees first. If the employees are happy, the customers automatically is happy. And if the customer is happy, the shareholders are also happy. Beautiful. Next is the influence of others. Whom do you trust more? Someone you know or someone you don't know? What do you trust more? A claim made in a piece of advertising or a recommendation from a friend? Whom do you trust more? The waiter who tells you everything on the menu is great, or the waiter who tells you to avoid the chicken casserole? Are these questions too easy? Then how about this one? Why should anyone trust you? Personal recommendations go a long way. We trust the judgment of others. It's a part of the fabric of strong cultures. But we don't trust the judgment of anyone. We are more likely to trust those who share our values and beliefs. When we believe someone has our best interest in mind because it is in their benefit to do so, the whole group benefits. The advancement of societies were based a great deal on the trust between those with a common set of values and beliefs. The feeling of trust is lodged squarely in the same place as the why, the limbic brain. And it's often powerful enough to trump empirical research or at least seed doubt. This is the reason why so many manipulations are effective. We believe that, for better or worse, others know more than we do. Clearly, 4 out of 5 dentists know more than us when choosing chewing gum. But what about the one holdout? What did he know that the others didn't? Of course, we trust the celebrity endorsements. Yeah. Okay, I was just moving the page on the screen. Those celebs are rich and can use any product they want. It must be good if they are putting their reputation on the line to promote it, right? You probably answered that question in your head already. Clearly, they are endorsing the product because they are getting paid to. But if celebrity endorsements didn't work, companies wouldn't use them. Or perhaps it's the fear that they might work that fuels the $1 million wink and a smile that encourages us to choose one car over the other or one lipstick over the other. The fact is, none of us is immune to the effect of someone we know or feel like we trust influencing our decisions. Celebrity endorsements are used with this concept in mind. By using a recognizable face or name, so the assumption goes, people will more likely trust the claims being made. The flaw in this assumption is that celebrity status alone may work to influence behavior, but at this level, it's just peer pressure. For it to work, the celebrity needs to represent some clear cause or belief. In an athlete known for her work ethic may have some value to a company with the same belief, for example, or an actor known for his charitable work would be good fit for a company known for doing good. In these cases, it is clear that both the company and the celebrity are working together to advance the same cause. I recently saw an ad for TD Ameritrade that featured morning show hosts Regis Philbin and Kelly Ripa. I'm still trying to figure out the cause that two talk show hosts represent and how that matters when it comes to choosing one bank over another. When a company says that a celebrity represents the kind of qualities we want our customers to associate with us, they miss the point. The celebrity is another what to the company's why. The celebrity must embody the qualities that already exist at that company. Without clarity of why first, any benefit will amount to simply increasing recognition. So many decisions and indeed contract negotiations are based on an advertising industry measurement called the Q score, a quotient of how well recognized a celebrity is, how famous they are, so to speak. The higher the score, the better the unaided awareness of the celebrity. This information alone is not enough. The clearer the spokesperson's own why is understood, the better ambassador they can be for a like-minded brand or company. One second. Yeah, the higher the score, the better the unaided awareness of the celebrity. This information alone is not enough. The clearer the spokesperson's why is understood, the better ambassador they can be for like-minded brand or company. But there is no measurement of a celebrity's why currently available. So the result is obvious. The value of too many celebrity endorsements is the celebrity appeal alone. Unless the audience to which you are trying to appeal gets a sense of what that spokesperson believes, unless that spokesperson is one of us, the enforcement may drive recognition. It may even drive sales for the short term, but it will fail to build trust. Beautiful. Any discussions? Unmute Rashmi, can't hear you.
इसीलिए sometimes ना कुछ celebrities का when they have some issues going on, companies immediately remove them because for them the trust factor is more important than popularity or anything else. This is
Yes, absolutely. And the client or the customer resonates with the celebrity only when they see they are one of us, they are somebody who's like one of us. It's also written here. Yeah, correct. Okay, we go ahead. Last page of this chapter for today. A trusted recommendation is powerful enough to trump facts and figures and even multi-million-dollar marketing budgets. Think of the young father who wants to do everything right for his newborn child. He decides he's going to get a new car, something safe, something to protect his child. He spends a week reading all the magazines and reports. He's seen all the advertising and decides that on a Saturday, he's buying a Volvo. The facts are in and his mind is made up. Friday night, he and his wife head to a dinner party. Standing by the punch bowl is their friend, the local car enthusiast. Our intrepid new father walks up to his friend and proudly announces that as a new father, he has decided to buy a Volvo. Without a thought, his friend replies, "Why would you do that? Mercedes is the safest car on the road. If you care about your kid, you'll get a Mercedes." Playing on his desires to be a good father, but also trusting his friend's opinion, one of three things will happen. Our young father will either change his mind and buy a Mercedes. He will go forward with his original decision, but not without some doubt about whether he is indeed doing the right thing. Or the third thing is he will go back to the drawing board to redo all his research in order to reassure himself of his decision. No matter how much rational information he has at his fingertips, unless that decision also feels right, stress will go up and confidence will go down. However you slice it, the opinions of others matter, and the opinions of those we trust matter most. The decision isn't how should car companies talk to the father who bought the car. The question isn't even how they quote the highly influential opinion of his friend, the car guy. The concept of buyer and influencers isn't a new one. The question is, how do you get enough of the influencers to talk about you so that you can make the system tip? So I repeat, the question is, how do you get enough of the influencers to talk about you so that you can make system tip? And the next chapter says how a tipping point tips. So that's going to be interesting. How a tipping point tips. Wonderful. So we are done with this chapter. I'll close.